there for you and really who are people that you should have in your life, um, and who you should lean on and put trust in. It exposes all those things in your life. And I just hope that from hearing this and how it's affected me, mentally, physically, and legally, because there's, you know, things I had to deal with legally that, again, I never thought I would have to ever go through or talk to people about or admit about to people, um, that will affect my life. And I know not everybody who is in a place of this mentally is going to do it the same way. But this goes for anybody who's thinking of drunk driving, driving under any sort of influence of, drugs or alcohol, how dangerous this is, not only to yourself, but to other people. And I understand that it's a who am I to say type of moment, since I already committed this act and this crime. Um, but it is a lived experience that I went through, and it is not a feeling that I want anybody to ever feel. Not only just me, but people around me. The disappointment, the misunderstanding of where you're at, because when you make a decision like this, it's hard for people to understand why you would put other people in danger. And I regret it with everything in me. Um, but what I don't regret is changing and getting better and allowing myself to seek for the help that I needed, and allowing my life to shift forever and be different forever. Um, and I just feel like God has placed a story now in my life and a testimony and a message to tell people who are in a similar position as I am that I don't have the answers for how to get out of where you're at mentally or to fix yourself after, but I have the answer, which is Jesus and his love for us. And it's so ironic that, you know, the year of my accident and what I did landed on, Easter weekend. And it's bizarre to me because, Jesus paid the ultimate price for things like what I did on that day. And he paid that price. He took those sins and he bared them on himself. And he gave himself up for people like me and like you who feel the way you do, make the decisions that we do. Um, and that doesn't give us the right to go and just sin and be free and then come back and go, okay, God, I'm ready now, and go back again. But there is a freedom in knowing that Jesus did sacrifice, pay the ultimate price for our life. And all I hope from my story is that you see redemption, but not redemption to clear my name in your mind or to, you know, to see redemption in yourself and how you can be redeemed going forward, and how you can make it through things that seem completely impossible when you're sitting in them and when you're feeling them. And I never thought that I would be where I am today. And I'm so thankful for God and Jesus paying that price on the cross for us. But I'm also thankful for people who were willing to let me change and to see me change. And I'm thankful for God's grace and healing and protection. I should not be alive today. And that is incredibly weird to even think about. But I've never been so thankful for my life, for where I am, for the people around me. But there's things that it affects every day, you know. Um, I haven't been able to sleep properly. You know, I don't sleep at night. I don't have a healthy schedule. Um, you know, my eating is completely messed up, and those things come from making, you know, detrimental decisions like this, because it changes your thought process for a long time. And again, this isn't to bring pity on myself, because I know what I did could have been so detrimental to other people and their lives and their families. It's not about pity, and it's not about feeling bad for me, but it's about explaining to people who maybe are going to make a similar decision. If you feel that guilt and that shame after, it is something you have to work through every single day, and allow God to prune your heart with, and you know, cut off these dead branches. And it's not an easy process. And from that, I've just been experiencing things that are difficult for me to just operate in normally. And you know, with this being a year from today, that also means that I'm a year sober today, which is the longest I have went without, you know, drinking alcohol, since I was 20 years old. I'm turning 26 this year, which to some people might not seem like a long time, but for me, it feels like forever. And it is the most amazing feeling. And I don't shame anybody who's able to control that, and, you know, have a drink or whatever and not be stupid. But there are people who need to see what they're doing and how they're acting and how they are hurting themselves, with this horrible drug. I don't care what anybody says. It is a drug that affects your mind, your actions, and your thought process and everything. And I just hope that, you know, there is somebody who is watching this, who is maybe in a place where they just needed that extra push, and that, you know, that reminder that there are people who not only do they want to see you get better, they want to walk with you through that, and point you to resources and things and places and people that can professionally help you. And not only professionally, but God can, who's all knowing of you and your life and your creator, can put his hand on you and guide you through the feelings and the destruction, the despair, the depression. He can remove these things from your life if you let him. And I feel like I've been rambling on, but I don't care, you know, if people make it this far or not. I do actually care, but I mean in the sense of, I don't care because I need to get this message out, and I need whoever is meant to hear it to hear it. So if there's one person that made it this far, who's been feeling this way and feeling like they are in a position of wanting to hurt themselves, I love you. God loves you. I see you, and God sees you. And you're so loved by many people, and it is not worth it. And there's no way to explain it to be worth it to anybody. It will never be, and there is nothing you can do to make anybody think that they don't want you here. And I hope that I can be somebody who you can reach out to and talk to just feel maybe a sense of, you know, a brother being there for you, and someone who wants to actually see you be better, whether I know you personally or not. I'm always somebody that will, especially now, want to encourage you, love on you, pray for you, and ultimately see you get out of this pit that you're in. And you know, it's just wild to me. I know I've mentioned it a couple times in this video that, again, it's just a year from this day exactly. Coming up to this, I didn't think I would feel the way I feel. You know, almost dying, losing that consciousness and losing, you know, all ability to feel my body and my brain and my thought process. It was a terrifying feeling, but also peaceful, because God came to me and made himself not relevant, but, you know, real to me in that moment. Revealed himself to me and asked me if I want to choose him or if I want to choose the world. And only I will be able to ever explain that in a way that, you know, is tangible for other people to understand. In my story specifically, seeing God in that way and him revealing himself to me when I thought that he was done with me, it doesn't feel right, but it doesn't have to. I don't have to make sense of it, because God already did when he sent Jesus to die for us. And, you know, how incredible is it that we have a God that we can look to when we have completely looked the other way and pushed him completely out of our life. And when we're asking him if he would wait for us, he is waiting for us to come to him. And, you know, I remember a few times growing up in youth group under Pastor Dusty, absolute legend, absolute weapon. He, you know, there was a few times I would hear in his sermons or his speaking to me outside of sermons and whatever that, you know, Jesus walks with us. And not only is he walking with us, he's holding us and moving us forward. But he isn't going to force us to walk with him. And, you know, he doesn't want to have to beg us for his love, but he does wait for us. And, you know, it's this visual that I get as well from Dusty, that it's like he's walking with us in the sand and our footsteps are beside each other. And at a certain point, if we sit down and he keeps walking, he's not going to completely walk away from us. He's going to stand and wait for us to get up and come back to him and keep moving forward. And I just hope that, again, from this story, that there's somebody who is going to get up and keep moving forward. And it is so not worth it to take your life, to get anywhere close, to let yourself get so deep in addiction and brokenness that you can't see a way forward. So, yeah, I'm just going to read a couple Bible verses here that stick out to me in this time and when I think about this. And then I'm going to play a song that I wrote and finished after my accident, when I was able to physically play my guitar again. and sing. But Galatians 2:20 says, I have been crucified with Christ, and I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. The life I now live in the body, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. And I think that's such an important verse. And I wanted to read Isaiah 44, verse 22. I have swept away your offenses like a cloud, your sins like the morning mist. Return to me, for I have redeemed you. And I just think those two verses are so beautiful in reminding us what God did for us when he sent his son to pay that price, and how he has forgiven us and redeemed us even before we know it. And yeah, I just want to sing this worship song for you guys that I wrote after. It's not going to be perfect, and it's not going, to be a song that maybe touches everybody, but I know that it's meant for the right person. So if you've made it this far, this is a song for the broken, for the hopeless, and for people who are just wondering if God is there. So I'm going to sing this. Jesus up on a cross to pay the highest price, just to be abandoned by all my selfish pride and all my dirty lies. But you still wanna love me when I feel like I'm not enough, and I feel like giving up, and I can't go on. Would you wait here for me if I'm down on my knees? Take all that I am to be holy and anointed, for your name is above all names and worthy to be praised, and holy and anointed, for your name is above all names. I can't keep running from the power of the blood that was poured out on Calvary. The prodigal returns to a father's open arms. But Jesus, that's how you love me. Would you wait here for me if I'm down on my knees? Take all that I am to be holy and anointed, for your name is above all names and worthy to be praised. No, and holy and anointed, for your name is above all names. So, with all that said, God bless you. I hope that this story has touched you. And because of my decision, I hope you can see a different way forward. I'm not thankful for how it went down and the things that I did leading up to my decision, but I am thankful that I went through it and survived, if that means bringing one more person closer to Jesus or to Jesus. And there is no part of me that wants this message and this new path that I have to go unheard because of my shame and my guilt to not talk about it. So that's what I'm gonna do. You're gonna hear it in my music, in the way I speak about my music, and whatever happens in my career. You can count on Jesus being a part of it and me acknowledging that. And I'm sorry to anybody who I let down a year ago today, and anybody who I made think differently of me. I'm sorry. And I'm still putting in the work to change every day. But I'm here, and I'm here for you guys, anybody who needs to just hear of God and know that He is with you, in a prayer, in a conversation. Do not hesitate to feel like you can reach out to me. Yeah. Thank you guys.